we take that much.
Okay.
You could get it out of your eyes, and then you should still be able to slick it back just fine. Or like right at your eyebrow level.
Sounds good. Are you doing counseling after mission hospital?
I was. And ended up, everything went south with a few things, and
How long were you there?
oh man, a few months. I want to say like 3 or 4 months.
You doing one-on-one counseling or?
No, I didn't do the. I did the teaching, and like classroom style, and then well, actually, I mean I did do one-on-one with a couple of guys. I think.
Did
only
you have
2
your
of
own
them.
curriculum or did they provide it or?
It was all provided by Lance's curriculum,
Oh.
and I'm pretty sure that's what Anthony built off of.
Lance just ended up getting burned out or?
So to my knowledge, he got pushed out,
Oh.
and I guess that was why the abruptness happened. Because he was there, and then he was gone. And then there was the girl, Jamie, who he was partnered with. She got pushed out, too. Because she went bad, too. I shouldn't say too. That sounds bad. But yeah, she, while she was there, 2 girls fell back into addiction and tried to commit suicide based off of her guidance. And her saying that they could fall back into addiction, and that the Lord would always be there to help them. And then she went and she was hitting up some dude who was in the program there while talking to another guy who was there. And she called him, and they were like, she went out and got drunk, and she went to go meet him at the mission, and they were gonna sleep together. And then she called rape. And then she called rape.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, and he ended up, I think, going to jail that night, but he got out because it wasn't true. And then she got partnered with Felipe, and Felipe gave her an addiction home to run and manage, and she destroyed that home and burned Felipe, which I tried to tell him about, but he was like, no, I know what I'm doing. I was like, all right, whatever, dude. I'm just trying to tell you what I know from the last couple months. So yeah, there's a lot of dirty laundry there, and with all that going on, I was like,
You can get started cutting.
I don't want nothing to do with it. So yeah, it was unfortunate, but I felt it was time for me to go. And then at the time too,
After lots of prayer and counsel.
yeah, for real. The thing that happened there too is they had a new manager come in and take over the program. And I didn't at the time. I think he just didn't want what we were doing. Yeah. But Anthony was able to stick it out. He was able to continue doing the same thing he's doing now.
All right. No, you're not going to do that to him, are you?
I want a pink with purple highlights.
Gotta watch out. Sometimes they take people serious when they say that nowadays. You never know. Did you guys see all the stuff that was coming out with that USAID or whatever, USAID?
Oh yeah, USAID.
And all the money that they
That's just ridiculous, huh?
actually sent out to other places. That was all agendaed to.
Right.
Like, it's crazy.
You know, there's just now we know how all those senators and Congress people become millionaires in office.
Yep.
All the kickbacks.
Everything that they were. It's crazy because it's the clear evidence of taxation without representation. They just, not to get all political and governmental, but
I'd like to know who gave them the idea and when they were planning it. They didn't talk about it until Elon came along, which was kind of late in the presidency run.
yeah,
Well, you know,
But
Trump wasn't just sitting around these last 4 years, you know, twiddling his thumbs, man. He got together with some pretty intelligent people, man, and they worked out a plan. And man, he hit the floor running, man, as soon as he got,
as soon as he got going.
yeah.
what's crazy is how much backlash he's already getting. People are already they're already screaming the whole impeachment thing again, and
Well, that's just being pushed by media.
uh,
That's their new racism.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying right now. If you notice, it just sucks because like right now, if the trend on Instagram and TikTok is, hey, where were you guys when we were helping you guys during BLM? You'll start notice like you're going to start noticing a lot of the Hispanics are going to start posting videos like that, and you get a lot of reactions from the other side. You know, like because they're basically getting called out, right? Hey, like where were you guys? We went out to all your guys' events, and now we need you guys. And the videos that are being shared. And I'm not trying to be political. It's just things that are being out there, and
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
it's, you know, the media is probably throwing more. My algorithm is probably showing it more, and I understand that, but it's showing that like how the black community isn't as keen to backing up the Hispanic community, and they're saying, hey, well, you guys voted for this guy.
yeah,
You didn't. And it's like, well, no, everybody voted for this guy.
yeah,
Everybody voted. Like, I don't know anybody who didn't,
yeah,
except for a couple people.
yeah, no,
But it's like all of a sudden, now that they are seeing that heads are starting to roll, they freak out. And it's like, but this is what we all wanted.
yeah, exactly.
We all, like, they think that we're freaking out. Like, aren't you afraid? Like, no, we already just went through 4 years of this. We can go through another 6-8 months, even another year. As long as at the end of it, you know, the swamp is drained, I think we're going to be happy.
Yeah, and that's what people don't. I don't think people. Are we recording already?
Yeah. It's all right.
I don't
can
think
cut
people
it.
really realize that. I guess I get it from the military, right? Where somebody, like, we get a new first sergeant. He didn't like the way that anything was being done, and he comes in and he wreaks havoc, and everybody hates him, and everybody's like, because it changes our dynamic. It changes the things that we once were doing, but
Yeah.
it's for the better. But the overcorrection is when everybody gets all up in arms about it.
Yeah, they take it personal.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, this wouldn't have happened if we didn't have bad leadership in there to begin with.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Like, when everybody, oh, where are these immigrants supposed to go now? Like, they weren't supposed to be here to begin with illegally.
Yeah.
And that's not our problem. Like, just
Came
be,
from somewhere, didn't they?
yeah,
I mean, that's the other tough thing is that, you know, when you oppose this, that doesn't make you racist.
exactly.
You know, and that's what sucks is no matter what a white guy says, like myself,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, you're kind of like, you have to really tiptoe around things, you know, because even though we're saying it in the truth, you know, and it might not, maybe our delivery might not be perfect, but
Political.
but it's just political. You know, no matter what, it makes it just sound so bad when it comes out of our mouths because it's like, well, we're white guys, you know. Obviously, we're the devil.
Yeah.
So
Well-
it just sucks.
And you know what's crazy about that too?
But we just want them to all succeed. I want everybody to succeed, man. I don't care what color you are.
Yeah, just people as a whole.
I don't wish like unsuccess on anybody. Like, you know, it's just weird.
Which, you know what's crazy? I was wondering kind of how this was going to go direction-wise, but have you heard of the book Letter to the American Church?
Which one? Who? Like, there's a bunch of people who write books like that.
It's the one about the German guy, Bonhoeffer, that was around during the time.
Yeah,
He-
like the Catholic priest. Bonhoeffer?
I don't know if he was. No, he was Christian, but he was.
He was a spy in World War II. There's a movie out on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bonhoeffer. Yeah, but he was there right before the cusp of Hitler taking over, and he was saying that back then what the problem was a sleeping German church that wouldn't call out the political incorrectness.
Oh yeah.
And what we see happening in America is exactly what was happening then, where people are like, you can't be political and spiritual. You can't be political and follow Jesus. And it's like, that's not true.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to hold accountability to the people that we elect above us.
Yeah, amen.
And it's like, it's just wild that, we've been told, don't put politics and faith together, but who told us that? You know what I mean?
That's a numbers game too, man. 1%ers.
Yeah.
Even the 1%ers of faith are the only people pushing.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So
exactly.
even probably smaller, 0.5%ers.
That's a pretty good book, though. I've been reading over the last couple weeks.
Is it on the newer end?
Yeah, this is a newer one.
You have to bring it and showcase it, dude.
I didn't think about it, obviously.
It's all good, man. Well, hey, look at, I'm gonna zoom in on myself here on this camera. While you guys are cutting hair, I'm gonna make some adjustments. All right, so I'll be up next for a haircut, and we're just here with my brother Dave and my brother Jack. We're just kicking back. Dave is the owner of Cuts of Faith. Let me get this. Let me move some things around. Being all unprofessional here. But Cuts of Faith. There's a little. This is a painting portrait that a brother of ours bought for Dave here. And the artist is Mike Stewart. This was made back in last July on acrylic. S2artistonline.com. S2, letter S, the number 2, artistonline.com. Cuts of Faith. You saying Rick got you that, huh?
Yeah, that was from Rick.
I'm hanging over at the shop. So, if you don't know, Dave, after a year lease, decided to take his act on the road.
Yeah.
And here we are. We're at my house on the road, and he's cutting hair, and we're just trying to get some good sound bites and let the Holy Spirit just lead us and get some haircuts out of this deal. And we're going to punk him for some free haircuts. Afterwards, me and Jack are going to cut his, so stay tuned. That's when the fun begins.
That's when the real barbers get
Hey,
started.
that's what you call Cuts of Faith.
Oh, man.
Cuts of Faith. So if you're tuning in, Dave was about to say this. Go ahead, Dave. My bad, bro.
Oh, no, I was just going to say to the on the road aspect, it's definitely been an experience so far.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't want to say I don't enjoy it, but it's been more of a challenge than I was expecting.
You realizing it's a lot more time than you thought? Or
Yeah, well, the time of travel, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then also, you never know what you're walking into. Those situations are always a little bit odd. But what's cool. So I went to a guy's house the other day, and he's like, man, you know why I choose you as a barber is there's always wisdom through these cuts. I'm like, bro, that's what Cuts of Faith is all about. And because we're always talking, he's not super in line, with the Lord in the way that we are. But it's just cool to see how the Holy Spirit can. Obviously, it's happening for a reason. You know what I mean?
yeah, he's getting his haircut by you.
Yeah.
Obviously something. He feels comfortable enough to be spiritual around you.
Yeah. So it's a unique experience for sure. like I said, I don't want to say I don't like it, but it's definitely presented challenges that I didn't realize at first. I'll have to grow with a little bit, but it's pretty cool so far, I guess.
So how long have you been out of the barber school?
So I've been out now so I graduated in November of 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, November of 23 is when I graduated there.
That was over in the Riverbank School?
Yeah, the Central Valley Barber College.
If someone was, you recommend it?
Definitely.
Give us some info, prop them up.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, I think they're the best school for barbering. I'm pretty sure they got that title for best barbering school in all of California, which is pretty big because LA has such a scene for barbering and beauty and stuff like that. But the way that their instruction, the way that the biggest thing that they have is the owner, right? She's a believer, and she's been blessed with having a huge inflow of clients that come through there. So every student graduates there with at least 255 haircuts minimum.
Bam.
You won't see that at Paul Mitchell. You won't see that at.
Say that in the camera, bro. How many haircuts do they get before they leave?
At least 255.
Where's that at?
That's at Central Valley Barber College.
All right, man. Hallelujah.
Yeah, and what's crazy is I'll just put it like when I was coming out of my addiction, essentially with alcohol, and I went to that barber school, it was one of the first weekends that I had like gone sober, right? And I was coming into class, and I was the first student there, and I walk in, and the owner, Rhonda, is playing worship music and praying over every single chair.
Oh, man.
And at that moment, I was like, God, you are real. This is crazy.
Yeah, that's excellence right there, man.
Yeah, and so when I saw that, I mean, and then everything else shows she's taken over. I don't want to say it like that, but she's taken over the industry out here. She took over the school in Modesto, the downtown Modesto.
Yeah.
California Beauty College. She took that one over and is now.
I heard she's doing something with Chris.
What's that?
She's working with Chris right now.
Yeah.
That's gonna be big.
Yeah, hopefully going out to Stockton potentially.
Yeah, man. Just look at all the different little connections we were getting, in this last year.
Yeah.
Chris going out and leaping in faith with that. I don't know. We'll see how that works out for him.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I mean, it seems like everything that they do, it follows. She follows the Lord, and it becomes blessed. Like it's hard. You can't deny it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some people just have that dynamic. It's like Jack right here. Yeah.
So what did it mean to you when you walked in and she was praying over the chairs and praise and worship music on?
In that moment, I was. It hit me straight to the heart with like, I felt good, like, you know what I mean? I felt like, whoa, I really did hear that. I really did. This is for real. You know what I mean? A little bit of confusion for sure, because I'm like, what in the world? Like, where do you find this? But at the same time, it was.
Were you saved at the time, or serving the Lord?
Well, so I had just gotten into the ministry and did my baptism of the Holy Spirit, and so it was within like a month of that.
So you kind of took that as confirmation you were in the right school?
Yes. And a lot of that, like, in that moment, I was praying every day and reading because I was trying so hard to just not drink.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to find a direction and things to go in. And that's when I started feeling like God was pulling me towards barbering. Because one of the things that I always loved doing, especially when I was in the Army, was counseling and helping other soldiers. And I felt like what I wanted to do was still, help other men gain some ground in life, I guess. And that's what confirmed it, is that's what I was praying about. And then I end up going to a barber shop or a barber school that just happens to be doing that. And the morning I show up, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, that's supernatural.
So you just took it as God confirming to you and answering your prayer that you're in the right direction?
Yeah, exactly. like I said, it was a little bit of like shock, you know, like, whoa, this is for real? Like, and I took it as that because I've never seen something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it all made sense in that moment. And then now, you know, I've had some of the naysayers, obviously, that are like, oh man, I guess you were wrong, huh? Guess you shouldn't have. And it's like, well, no, maybe I was wrong in the approach. Maybe I was a little bit excited and I jumped the gun or something like that. But it doesn't mean that God's calling for me was wrong. I'm not giving it up. It's still an amazing way to reach men, you know?
Yeah, hallelujah.
And, you know, that's the other cool thing about it, too, is like, how perfect is it, you know, in a barber chair? I've had conversations with my barber that I never even saw again. And I'm just like, it just instantly gives that feel for, I might be in a little counseling session right now. It's like a secure and safe spot for some reason. I don't know if you guys feel like that in the chair, but
It can be.
depending on the barber, right?
Yeah, there's times when I was like, I'm not in the mood to talk either, you know, and I just want to get in and get out. But then, you know, I noticed though, when you go in with a purpose and an open heart, the conversation's usually pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot depends on the atmosphere too, you know.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So let me ask you, you guys watched that movie The Forge yet?
Oh yeah.
I have not seen
That
that.
was good.
All right, we're gonna fight
Where do you watch that at again?
on TV.
No,
Yeah, Netflix.
yeah.
In the place where the same place where people that ask dumb questions live. That's what, no, it's
Online, Google.
it's I think it might be on Prime.
Okay.
But it's a movie that was in the theaters not too long ago. It's a Christian movie.
Okay.
And it's based on, I don't want to ruin it. You just have to watch it. It's a great movie. Starts
Based
off a
on
little
what?
cheesy, but after about 10 minutes, it gets really good.
It's based on a true story, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
So what is it
Yeah,
about?
I'm pretty
though?
sure it is.
Is it? Okay.
What is it about?
Young man out of high school, no real direction, has a mom that she's a believer, you know, but like most of us, we have kids that maybe aren't following as tightly with the Lord as we do.
Yeah.
And he's, you know, struggling to find his way in the world, thinking he's going to do it on his own, kind of his own approach, kind of a street approach. He's a young black male.
Ah.
And just runs into some hiccups, some eye-opening moments, and is introduced to a gentleman, and that gentleman mentors him, gives him a job, and kind of, yeah, it's a mentorship kind of movie.
Ah. Okay.
But it's like leading up to that to show you like the importance of mentorship, and kind of the cool thing about it is it shows like the praying side of it, how prayer works, but also how we need as men, we need to step up and fill these gaps.
Yeah.
And then the kind of the cool thing about the movie for the youth is that they at least know like, hey, there's people that I can reach out to that can do, like they can help me do this stuff.
Yeah. You're not alone.
Yeah, you're not alone. So it hits a lot of different aspects in this movie, and it does a really good job of kind of getting through that, how typically like Christian movies are kind of cheesy,
Yeah.
you know, and they look like it's straight to video kind of format, and you don't really like, obviously they're not action-packed Christian movies, you know, there's not a whole lot of kind of contradictory, you know,
Yeah.
but they do a good job. The video editing looks really good, just really crisp looking. They put a lot of money into the, you know, the production. You can tell it looks like a movie theater production, you know,
Yeah.
not like the old shows that we're used to, you know, looks like they were filmed on VHS. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that's just me.
Veggie Tales type of deal.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't, like, we never had the best equipment to film Christian stuff on.
Yeah.
You know, at least I remember that as a kid. So,
Well, that's crazy. This says a lot about the industry, right?
yeah, exactly. It's amazing.
And I mean, that's just, you can tell exactly who they're following there.
Yeah.
But that's good. I've Is it made by Angel Productions or cause weren't they like a big one that was coming out with all the?
It's within those same kind of groups. I'm not
Okay.
sure if it's Angel or not. I mean, I can probably look at that. Break out the tools.
Do you want to keep the all this side hair?
You know, if you want to hit it, that's fine. Probably stimulate growth.
You were gonna let it grow?
No. I mean, you can trim it if you want. But probably stimulate it to grow back thicker. That's the most hair I've ever had on my face.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I could never grow a beard. It was always in patches.
Oh, you look so handsome, Jack. Handsome Jack.
Trying to keep up with you, brother, but it just ain't working out.
You're running the wrong race, dude.
Yeah, I know.
You're in a sprint.
starting
You're trying
to
to sprint, bro. You're not in a sprint
Hope
shape.
here.
You're not in sprint shape.
I don't want to give up. I don't want to quit, but man, the bar's too high.
And so, back to the Forge real quick. So I looked it up. It's on Netflix.
Ah, okay.
So you can go there. It's got a 6.7 out of 10 rating on IMDb and a 67 on Rotten Tomatoes. So that's actually, I think that's pretty good for being a Christian film. You gotta imagine most people watching it for ratings are going to be like, oh, this is kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
You know, where it just kind of really brings full circle that the message of the cross is foolish to those who don't understand it. You know, they won't get the message out of it. Yeah. It's a good movie. It's got the main actor. His name is Aspen Kennedy,
Okay.
and he plays in the movie. His name is Isaiah. So they have all biblical names, right?
Oh, that's cool.
And then one of the big faces in it, if you know who she is, her name is Priscilla Schreier, and she's an author, and I think she's a pastor. I'm assuming she writes books. She does Bible studies. I have right behind you, Jack, is a bunch of her books. Now that I think of it, I didn't know she was in the movie. I knew she was in the movie. I didn't know who she was, but now that I read her name here, it's like, hey, I got some of her books.
What role did she play?
She was the mom.
The mom? Okay.
Yeah, and she's played in a few. She's been a mom in a few of the movies, in the Angel movies. But now I know that it's Priscilla Schreier. I know why.
She did pretty good.
Yeah, and then the mentor guy, right? That was Cameron Arnett, and he's an actor in the movie. And then
Pretty much all the actors did pretty good, for not being, quote unquote famous Hollywood people.
yeah, I thought it was great. Heck, I think even her husband's in the movie. Jerry Schreier played Vaughn. Anyways, a good movie. Came out in '94. I'll read the.
It came out that long ago?
Sorry, not 94, 2024.
I was like 94.
I'm a moron. Don't listen to me. I just like to keep it casual here. Yeah, it was a good film. I'll read the synopsis of it. Let's see here. After graduating from high school without any plans for the future, Isaiah receives a push start, making better life decisions. That was kind of the...
And that push start was in the form of the mentor that you said, right?
Yeah, he went out to try to get a job and was getting shot down. He had a lot of different attitude. Walking into job interviews, not properly dressed, late, kind of thing. So just doing, teenager irresponsible things.
Yeah.
Typical of this generation not having the soft skills, that we just kind of take for granted, like when you go to an interview or, how you behave,
Well, I think it's the direction that everybody's been pushed is so technical instead of
they're so
personal.
There's such an entitlement,
Oh my goodness. I remember that.
And then, there's no fire underneath them to get a job, and they can just stay home and sleep till 1 or 2 o'clock.
What?
Stay up all day, all night, playing video games.
Well, you know what's crazy is, I can refer back to the time in the Army. I was working as a drill sergeant, and when I first got into the Army, I always heard, the old guys being like, "Oh, the Army's not what it once used to be," And I was like, "Well, things change. Like, of course, it's not going to always be. You're not going to be able to punch people anymore just because they're being stupid. Like, those days are gone, right?"
Yeah, see that?
I miss those days.
You're right.
Well, see, but what's funny about that is...
Correct. Atonement, man. Atonement is real.
Tune them up a little bit.
What's crazy,
This
though,
ain't
is...
your mama's house no more.
Yeah, right? I thought
tuned
that I
up.
would never become that guy. And then when I was working as a drill sergeant, the biggest thing I said is all these new soldiers that were coming in was the entitlement to success. They signed up, so now the Army owns them or owes them. And it's like, I had so many conversations with soldiers like, "Hey, you signed up to serve. I feel like you got this confused." Yeah. And that's that entitlement. Well, what's the Army going to do for me?
Well, if they quit selling it wrong,
Well, yeah, that all...
that's the problem. They're like, "Hey, I was told this," and then obviously they got lied to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Confused.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to bring back those commercials. We do more by 5 a.m. than most people do all day.
Yeah.
These guys still want to be in bed at 5 a.m.
Yeah, no, those days are
In the
gone.
Army now.
And that was the first time, it was one of the biggest problems I had as a drill sergeant. I was able to see, it was right around the time where, the dynamics of our government were changing and COVID-19 was coming out, and it was like the pronouns, all these other things, right? That the Army was not ever, and to my history, knowledge that I had done, has never formed to society. Society, if you came into the military, was always to form to the military and their standards and their ways, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that was the first time that they decided to switch that all up. And I was like, what in the world is going on? This doesn't seem right. How are you a global fighting force, because that's what it is, and yet you're going to sit here and try to cater to everybody's mental and behavioral need? You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it's like a works-based. Hey, well, we want you in our Army so bad, we're willing to do this for you.
Yeah.
But we're going to, then what happens is and we see it in our kids too, where or even our kids are like, "Hey, I want my reward before I do the work."
Yeah.
And that's entitlement.
Yeah.
And we, as a father, I'm guilty of that too. I've done it where it's like,
It's hard.
it's so difficult,
Yeah.
and it's, but the hard part about it is later on when you regret it, like, man, I should have had boundaries. I should have done this. I should have done that.
Yeah.
That's why you have to have Jesus, man, because he's the only one going to be able to go back and help you count that joy, because that's in the rearview mirror, bro.
Well, what's great? That's such a good point that you bring up, though, because it's so hard as, like, for me, I'm messed up, right? Obviously, as a father, and now I hold myself to an accountable position where it's like, I can't, I don't want to do anything that causes them to stumble or fall, right? And so I'm in repair mode, and I'm trying to show them that they're the blessing that they are and treat them, you know what I mean? So it's hard to not almost subconsciously give the kids this idea that they are entitled, because to a certain degree they're entitled to love, right?
Yeah.
And so it's hard to not set it up that way.
You gotta give them tough love.
That's right.
It's a balance, man. And I think we all suffer. I don't know if I can't speak for you guys, but a lot of us don't have a good representation or mentorship from a father figure to really know how to become fathers.
That's so.
And if someone was to explain to me that Jesus is my father and to seek him earlier, it would have made more sense.
Yeah.
I want my kids to understand that no matter what I do, I want them to seek the Father before they seek me.
Yeah.
Because I'll piss them off, but the Father I call Father is their Father as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. It's crazy that you say that, because one of the counseling sessions I was in one time. I was when I was stationed out in Maryland, and I was running amok, and me and my wife had to go to counseling and all that stuff, right? And a counselor said, "Who taught you how to be a father and a husband?" And at this point, we had drawn out our family trees, all the brokenness and all that stuff. And he looked at us and he told my wife the same thing. Who taught you how to be a wife and a mother? And it's like, wow, there's so much deficiencies there, right?
Well, now that you bring it up, I see where you're going with this. I am doing a dang good job.
But yeah,
but you know, if you dig into that, you know, I don't know about you guys, you know, but you know, I always try to analyze things, you know, and one of the things my dad taught me at a young age is to give people the benefit of the doubt, you know. And so when I got old enough to understand, you know, how my parents were raised, you know, what they went through, you know, even though our childhood was very dysfunctional, our home life was very dysfunctional, to say the least. They had it a lot worse, you know.
yeah,
They did an excellent job in comparison to what they went through, you know.
yeah,
So that kind of helped me, you know, to take the personal out of it, you know. It wasn't so much that they didn't love me or, you know, didn't care as much as it was that, and they were doing the best they could with what they had, you know.
yeah.
You know, they grew up in a time where, you know, you didn't show any emotions, you know, you didn't talk about your problems.
Especially as a father.
Yeah, you just sucked it up and, you know, did what you're supposed to do.
Well, what's crazy is we see some of that trying to rear its ugly head, is what I say, again, right? With that whole alpha dog, type A personality things that we see. Like, you're not a man if you know, if you talk about the vulnerability.
The stoic.
Yeah.
The what's his face?
Men don't cry, you know.
Yeah.
Tate.
Yeah. That Joker. Andrew Tate.
He makes good points, but bad delivery.
Yeah.
I mean, it works great if you're talking to people who understand that they're being talked to.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think a lot of his stuff was, you know, was just mockery, you know.
Yeah, you know, did you hear that he became a
Christian?
Yeah.
He came back.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, he was already once?
Well, he left to become Muslim when he was in prison. His
Oh,
brother Christian stayed Christian, and then I don't know. If he came back, he came back. I'm not sure.
I guess I wasn't aware that he had once, I guess, was a believer. I didn't realize that. Well, it definitely doesn't look as bad as it was, but I'm making some good progress here.
I'm gonna have to send Melba a message saying, "Hey,
Better watch out.
you better get the dress out. Tonight's a date night. You're not gonna get much better looking with Jack than this." Hey, Melba, if there's anything you wanted to do with good-looking Jack, you got about an hour and a half before his hair grows back out like a werewolf.
I think the beard looks good.
Just in time for Valentine's.
Yeah. Are you doing anything for Valentine's?
Taking babysitting.
Yeah? Do you guys, like...
I feel bad, too,
You're so lucky.
because my son texts my wife and say, "Hey, are you guys doing anything Valentine's, you know, day? Or if not, can you babysit?" And she's like, normally, you know, I just expect her to say, "Yeah, sure." Well, let me check with your father. He might have. We got no dang plan. I'm married 43 years.
Show my love every day.
Oh,
I don't need Valentine's.
right? You don't even like chocolate.
Yeah, I was thinking about riding on that, and then I was like, man, I don't know. I got to do something.
Yeah, so I was thinking I'm gonna hit my son up and say, hey man, let me slide over there, man, and put up some balloons and some flowers and stuff. So when she walks in, she's all surprised.
Yeah, yeah. That's the best way to do it.
One year I did that at our work cubicle, man. I got a hold of some of the ladies that work there and snuck in there and just dialed it in. She got spoiled, so I had to back away and teach her. I even put a poem in the newspaper one time.
No way.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's how you know you guys have been together for a while, because nobody uses the newspaper for anything anymore.
Yeah, it was a while, but like I said, 42 years. 40,
That's
43
awesome.
this year, 40.
Imagine looking for jobs out of the newspaper.
I know, right?
Yeah? Or a phone book?
How do you advertise your business anymore, you know?
All on
It's wild.
the social media realm. That's it.
It's crazy, like all the things that have disappeared because of what the internet has done, you know?
Yeah.
Good and bad, I guess.
What it's become.
Yeah, the convenience has brought to our lives, you know, as little as we consider them conveniences, because now they're just kind of part of everyday life.
Yeah.
But getting stuff shipped to you in like a day, dude, imagine back, Jack, remember when it was like processing 8 to 12 weeks?
Right.
You saw something on TV, you wanted to order it, it took forever, bro.
There's no way you're going to get it within...
COD, cash on delivery. You gotta pay the
Those days
delivery
are
day.
gone.
You don't even need
I'll tell you
cash.
when it shows up.
Yeah.
COD. Hey, they take COD, we can get it. It was awesome for poor people. But yeah, it's a convenience, you know. The internet is just, everything's so rapid.
Which is, I think that kind of breeds that whole, maybe it's not the entitlement to success, but gotta have it now. There's no more patience. There's no more,
Exactly.
the waiting process doesn't exist anymore.
Well, they've eliminated patience. There's nothing that you need to be patient for anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're forced to,
Instant gratitude.
and then you're mad about it. But you know, there's always there's just so many options, which sucks because it makes you think that there are options.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's so true.
You know?
I wonder how much of that is just our country, you know?
I think it is.
We,
The media is just hurting us so bad.
Have you guys ever gone out of country?
No.
Not in the same reality as I am in now.
Yeah.
You know.
I lived over there in Europe for 3 years in the army. And
Do they think and act the same way we do?
nowhere near. The hustle and bustle and the life that it's like we have to constantly achieve and strive and earn as much as we possibly can and keep feeding our machine of the corporate America. Over there, they open up shop when they open up shop. If there's gas stations that will be closed down during the morning time because they call it Reposa, and you can't even pump gas because they're spending time with their families instead of at work.
Yeah.
And it's like they have more of a genuine
There's another
concern for
family.
that. Yeah. And here, family comes last. Well, you won't think it because you're out providing for them and doing what you think you're supposed to be doing, because that's a message that we've been
Yeah.
filled
we're,
with.
We're
you know?
quantity over quality here.
Yeah.
We don't realize that though. That's the thing is, you know,
You hit
we
this
don't,
for sure.
sometimes
No,
we
I'm
don't
done.
get it until it's too late. You know, or later on in our lives we start realizing. You want me to check that for you, Jack? You got?
It's my
Let me get you a Snickers because you know.
yeah, it's my sugar alarm.
You want some candy?
No, I don't know what.
Because I'm not gonna.
It might be high, it might be low. I don't know. Am I acting like a girl? Do I need a Snickers?
Not you when you're angry. Hangry.
Angry. My wife has a great sense of humor. One day I just woke up, man. I was just in a foul mood, you know. I mean, when you deal with what's the word I'm looking for? When you deal with constant pain all the time, you know.
Like chronic.
Chronic. There you go. You know, you got your good days and your bad days, you know, and pretty much, you know, I just powered through it, you know. But there are some days, man, where I ain't feeling it, you know.
Yeah.
I could be a grump. And normally I wake up singing to my wife, you know. I bug the heck out of her. Yeah. She pretends she's sleeping. It's like, yeah, I know you ain't sleeping.
Not anymore.
She's not a morning person. She don't want to have a conversation.
Hey, she went from snoring to not snoring. Like, I know you're not sleeping.
She went from not snoring,
Oh, man.
Anyway, man, I was not being a nice guy. You know, she didn't say nothing, not a word. And then she got up, you know, she was, you know, doing her thing, and all of a sudden she just disappeared. And then she came back 20 minutes later with an energy drink and a Snickers bar. Just put it on the counter. Didn't say a word. I just died.
Oh, that's great.
It was great, man. It was classic. She'd have to say nothing, you know. I mean, just broke everything, you know. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry.
She knew exactly what you needed.
Huh.
The perfect, suitable
Right.
helper.
That's what happens after 40 plus years of marriage, you know. That was great.
That's awesome. I'm going to show you the mirror. Make sure you like what you see.
Well, you know, it's not the guy I used to be, but the haircut looks good. Looks
You like
really
it?
good. Yeah, like it. Love it. Beard looks
right.
good too, man. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I just saw something on your beard I want to hit real quick.
You can take care of the Russian eyebrows?
Oh, for sure.
You have some peaks?
Huh?
You got little peaks or what?
Oh, yeah. I started this new medicine, diabetic medicine, Jardian. And it makes you have to get up like a girl.
Can't say that no more.
Well, you know,
Equal rights, man.
I've been accused of being misogynistic.
I can't even miss the massages all the time, bro. It's not that big a deal. I'm not sure what people freak out about.
You know,
Like, I'm a misogynist. I mean, a massager. Is that the same thing?
yeah. Nothing like a good massage.
I'm going to try that on my wife. I'm a misogynist now.
Right? Come here, baby.
She went to school for it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You gotta be able to laugh about things.
Oh, for sure. Speaking, I went to a...
Especially when you got eyebrows like Jack.
I'm telling you, man, I'm supposed to be Scotch-Irish, man, not Russian, German.
I went to a comedy show the other night. Oh, it was the other week. I shouldn't say the other night, but a couple weeks ago. I haven't been to a comedy show before.
No?
And I was just, I like comedy, like Bill Burr and those types of guys,
Yeah, he's great.
And but there was a period of time where comedy couldn't be comedy anymore. They had to be so careful about the things that they said.
Oh, yeah.
And this time, when I was sitting there watching these people do their bits or whatever, it was like, comedy's back. You can say the things that are uncomfortable, and everybody can sit and laugh about it, because that's what we need. The humor of these things need to come back and surface.
Yeah, everybody got too serious.
Yeah.
Gotta hand you a blueprint on how to talk to them.
Yeah.
You ain't that damn important, man.
Yeah.
Get over yourself. Yeah.
They got serious for the wrong reasons, too.
Yeah.
Tell me to he, her, him, hell. Come on, man.
Yeah,
Really?
exactly.
You better get over yourself. I don't need to talk to you.
Yeah, that stuff got crazy for a while.
That important.
And hopefully comedy will just continue to thrive.
Yeah, well, I mean, the public, The American people pretty much, man, you know, when they voted Trump, you know, they pretty much was a mandate that they're tired of all this woke stuff, you know.
Yeah.
These idiots that, you know, we were talking about earlier, trying this whole impeachment stuff, all these, you know, protests and stuff. It's like the American people ain't buying it no more. What they're doing is they're just continually exposing themselves for what they really are.
Yeah.
You know, and how they really govern, you know.
Yeah.
Don't govern. Especially, you know, the USAID, you know, aid or whatever you call it, all the corruption, man, that's
Yeah.
being exposed, you know.
It's wild.
All the kickbacks, you know, it was like come out that what, Chelsea Clinton.
86 million.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
she gets a, every year she gets a
I'll get that for you.
stipend. You know, Obama set it up to where she, you know.
Yeah, there's that. Well, heck, George Soros, 80
Shoot, man.
something million to buy all the radio stations so they can promote their propaganda.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right,
Like feed the machine.
right. You know, come
and-
to find out the CIA's all up in, you know,
What you know what's crazy?
news media in Hollywood, and you know they're the ones that are telling them what to say. And
You know what's crazy about that though is so the removal of history, right? Nobody really, I shouldn't say nobody, but a lot of people don't realize that the CIA has been doing that ever since the Colombian drug cartel crap that they got mixed up in back in the, was it the 80s?
Contra.
Yeah, and so back then they were already doing the exact same thing that they're doing now.
Oh, they were
Yeah.
killing presidents, bro. They killed Kennedy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's the thing. You like
And
look
Martin
at,
Luther King was a CIA agent. Bro.
yeah, look at what happened with Trump. It's a clear indication that this was an inside job.
are you sure I have to use the facility?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
You ready? You want to get rocking or you need to take a breather?
No, I'm ready if you are. Let me get this.
Let's, I'm going to pause this